We done? We good to go?
Oh, you fucking piece of shit.
Is it receding?
Receded.
It receded very early.
It's already
How early?
So about 23. It was marching at a rate of knots too.
Hit the frog
And I
and
was like,
tide.
fuck, how far is it going to go? And then just randomly it stopped. So the old man, he's almost as bald as a badger. So
Yeah, so is my old man.
How old are you, Guru?
What's that?
How old are you?
How old do you reckon I am?
Are you even 30?
Yeah, I'm 30.
30, yeah.
30 on the dot, on the nose. Wowzers.
What about you?
I'm 37 this year.
Fuck, it's Red Rover.
We were talking about this the other day, like talking around like the podcasting sort of circles that were all intertwined. A lot of babies.
A lot of babies.
A lot of pups.
Yeah, you're like the weird old dude in Family Guy.
For sure.
Oh, 100%.
That's usually without a doubt.
100%.
The creepy uncle at the barbecue.
Yes. Oh, yes. You are the creepiest.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
I was like, fuck, we're old.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Wire. That'll be a great start. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I got the Weekly Rubdown joining me once again, the better half of, or the better 2/3 of The Wire. There was some quick fucking maths there.
Wow.
Quick
I
showing
thought you were
off
gonna
now.
start then.
This is the 30-year-old stepping up.
Had it loaded.
Walk, brought you in first, mate.
Thanks,
What's
mate.
doing?
Hey, everything's been going good apart from season-ending injuries and shit
Everything's
like
been
that.
going
It's already
well
started.
Except for
Supercoach
Supercoach.
draft.
Everything outside of Supercoach, fucking awesome.
Going great.
Fucking awesome. But yeah, Turbo obviously going down hurt. It comes after Dewey went down, Brady went down, Luke Thompson went down. Fucking hell. Look, haven't got the worst team in the world. I'll get there. But yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, I lost Turbo. I haven't even mentioned it. Natty, what's going on, mate?
Good, brother.
Fuck off.
I'm just here to receive the people. I'm not going to talk about myself too much. I'm just here to give stats, to give people a leg up in Supercoach draft. I'm not going to bore everyone with, I did this and I did that and I've had injuries. I'll leave that to the walk.
Yeah, but where did you get those stats, by the way? Oh, that's right. Yeah,
You're going to end up in my comp soon if you're not careful. You're begging for it. Now, boys, I guess we'll kick off. We had our... actually, no, we'll kick off with your Patreon first because it is flying.
It's humming. Yeah, everyone's loving it. It's been helping out a lot of people. Like, we're getting some really good feedback from people making the right choices at the right time. Yeah, we've been busting out a lot of stuff with strength of schedule, matchups each week, obviously. We're hitting form guides, so 6-round averages, things like that. So we've got the two systems now. So we've got 6-round average, and then we've got the season long as well. So you can balance it out to see, okay, what are the teams doing now, and what are they doing for the whole season? And it gives you a good guide to make a right call.
Great time of the year to use it as well, because obviously, and we were just talking before in the green room, obviously, a lot of leagues that are close. It's a close year. A lot of teams are on the same amount of points. So if you're a captain's league, choosing the right captain is crucial.
Yeah.
But also getting guys in your team that have a favourable strength of schedule so you can actually fucking win games. And that's what we've sort of been focused on the last couple of weeks. We did a podcast last week that just focused on round 23 to 26, that final system, and what players have a really favourable strength of schedule over that time. So if you're in a good position on the ladder, you can start working towards getting those players in your team, making some trades, making some moves, and build the best team you can for those specific rounds.
Yeah, and we were just talking pre-show. We had the SC Playbook boys in here. We had the Supercoach Spy and the great Maxi Bryden, Max Power. Strap in and feel the G's.
Big Max.
Had the boys in here, and they were saying how they were using your stats for a lot of their classic stuff too. So great for draft, but classic players out there, which there's a lot of you, worth having.
And it's all equivalent stuff. So when we're talking about strength of schedule, it applies equally to draft and classic. So you can pick out your guys that you want to trade in, give yourself a bit of an idea of planning out your trades, who to captain, who to sit each week. It helps me out massively.
Does it?
Well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help predict injuries, and that's where it hurts.
Oh, that's where it hurts. Yeah, right.
It doesn't have...
That's where you need the NRL physio package as
Exactly.
It doesn't have a wobble matrix to like keep an eye on how wobbly someone can get.
Yeah, well, head over to patreon.com/rubber stats.
And how much to set you back?
So $5 a month. Sorry, $5 a month.
Stewie diving.
$5 a month. So
What can you buy for $5 these days?
what can you buy for $1.25 a week? Fucking nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yes.
That's good. It's good gear. Like we're saying with the classic stuff, if you combine that strength of schedule gear with your break-even stuff,
Yeah.
that's gold for classic.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to look at, okay, this guy's a good break-even. I want to get him. He's also coming up for a nice, favourable strength of schedule, that's perfect.
Yeah. Or conversely, you see that he's going to be coming up against a tougher run. His BE is going to be ramping up over the next few weeks. He's going to be bleeding cash. So you want to be making moves to get him out.
Can we put your break-even stuff on a T-shirt or what? That's an unreal description of
Your
SuperCoach.
break-even
That's what
stuff.
you just said. If
Break-even
you can put
gear.
stuff with your break-even stuff.
You know,
Love
whatever
that.
The fucking break-even bullshit that you
Love
do.
that. Absolutely love that. All right, now,
The disrespect.
we had a wire bet a couple of weeks ago. Actually, do one of you Pelicans want to take us through this? You probably...
Natty
I'll,
will want to.
I'll take it. I'll take it, and for reasons you're about to find out. So we had a bit of a full round competition that we had. So we each had 10 players. Guru, you had to sort of pick your best 10 that you were going to run with, because obviously we run with the 10.
Got to mention the sponsor.
Comp. Huh?
The sponsor.
Sponsor what?
Brought to you by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, of course.
Oh, God. Yeah. Cute. So for over 4 rounds, and first week you lost Nathan Cleary.
Not here to make excuses.
So you were pretty much done,
Yep.
and then both of you lost Turbo, and just I skated on through to get the win.
Yeah.
And I don't care how I get the W's,
You wouldn't care, Natty Bradbury.
I get the W's. And now you owe me a 50, and you owe me a 50.
Yeah,
Yep,
fair shout.
Yep, fair play.
So-
fair play.
It's 100 by my
and
calculations.
You get the first pick in
Matt,
the
fuck, you're good, bro. You are on tonight.
quick Matt.
Pineapples.
Yeah, and you get first pick in the
Supercoach Survivor.
SuperCoach,
Which is coming at the end of this episode, and I am nervous but super excited about SuperCoach Survivor. I think this has got
You
some
got a nervous
serious
boner?
legs to
It's got
it.
some
I do
legs.
have a nervous boner, yeah, and I am, I'm keen to see how that one all plays out.
Supercoach Survivor, it's our baby. Something sort of we came up with a few years ago, and it's fucking fun. I've never beaten Wooker in the game. He's very good at it, which just means he's got more time than me. to prep.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Righto.
But I'll give it a go.
Righto.
You know, just a bloke down in his luck, working job with a kid. Give it a go.
Turn it up, mate.
I like it.
Jesus.
Good on you.
I
Why can't you be more like him?
yeah, why can't you?
I'm over 6 foot tall.
Oh, I love that.
I'd say 5'11".
That's weather down
You've
there.
added a little bit on there, a little bit extra juice.
Oh, turn it up, mate. You're pushing 5 foot. So.
Now, I'm just having a look at our team updates here, and Wooker, we've got your team first, mate, and the first sentence says... Fourth season-ending injury with Turbo, and the next sentence says Turbo was my 4th season-ending injury. You've put it in there twice, just in case we missed it.
What? No, I haven't. No. So yeah, 4th season-ending injury with Turbo. Dewey went down. Jaden Bradley went down. Luke Thompson went
Covered
down.
all of this.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Brought in Bailey Simonson. He's actually gone quite well since I brought him in. Not exactly the best player in the world.
Sorry, I've got to interrupt. Did you trade Turbo for Bailey Simonson? Did I tell you what I had to do in my comp?
No, actually, I brought in Simonson the week before.
Oh, sorry, it was just the lowest point of my life when I traded out Turbo for McGrady from the Dolphins.
Oh, no way.
Really hurt.
How long, just out of interest, because I wanted to keep him for as long as possible. When did you make the call to drop him? Straight away?
You know how I was posting all those Instagram things for State of Origin night?
Yeah.
In between those, I was ringing NRL physio.
Yeah.
And I eventually got him at like 11 o'clock at night. And he's like, just hold him until tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure he is Gonski. So I waited 24 hours and then I said to physio, you fucking let me know if you hear anything. Don't make me chase you. And he rang me the next day and said, we've both got to let him go now. So he had him as well.
As soon as the scans came back, he was straight away.
It was bittersweet for me watching it because I was like, oh no, Turbo, because I know you're a good bloke and you own him. I felt bad for you. But then on the other hand, Walker owns him and I was very, very happy.
Yeah.
It made me feel the same.
You seemed a lot peppy and you loved it.
I'm up and about,
Yeah. So we had a bet round last week as well. It was a veto bet. So pick 2 players you want to save and then anyone else's fair game. I lost by 5 points. And yeah, Val Holmes, Gonskis. But
Easy come, easy go.
easy come, easy go. Because I won Val Holmes in an earlier bet and I got Asako on the way back. So
Oh, nice.
it's not a bad return because it gives me a bit to play around with at fullback spot, which is obviously a bit of a difficult spot for me now.
The thing about Osako is that he averages 70, but in my comp, he's a shit player.
He is one of the premier wingers now.
Thanks for coming. See you on the boundary rope.
Put a little salt and pepper on. I like it. Love the spice. He's been phenomenal this season. He's gone and exceeded everyone's expectations, probably except Bennett.
Yeah, probably except Wayne Bennett and whoever very confidently drafted him in round 17. Yeah, but mate, I like the rest of your team. Blake Brayley at hooker, JDB and Christian Welsh up front. Welshie, I went to say he's been disappointing, but he's been
very disappointing. If I'm honest, for what he's capable of.
But like coming back from injury and whatnot, like were you expecting him to be a 60-point guy? Or I'm only looking at the average and nothing more, to be fair.
I was expecting better from him. So I was expecting better minutes, effectively. So he's coming off quite early in games.
Yeah, okay.
And normally that would be if they had like a stacked bench, so they'd come a Kamika and Nas going through the middle. It wasn't the case last week. He just, like, all I needed from him was another five minutes on the field to get 45 points. And, anyway. But he has been a little bit disappointing in the front row spot. But set and forget 50 points. You got to take that.
Take it. Yeah. 2 RFs, Jermaine Hopgood, Wilton. 2 guys that I drafted as well. Very good picks. I love
and
those.
Bateman on the bench as
Johnny
well,
Bateman.
just to cycle in.
Yeah, halfback, Wakeham. Obviously, he's replacement because DCE's on the bye this week.
Yep.
But Wakeham, what's Wakeham averaging? 46. Not dreadful.
No, it's not. But in a dreadful team.
Yeah.
Obviously,
all things considered, not dreadful.
Scored 24 in an absolute humping. I mean, you got to take that.
They
An absolute humping. Like,
But wasn't there some humpings last week? Holy jeez. I was not expecting it.
Those matchups against those teams could become very crucial.
Yep. And it's funny because, I mean, the podcast before the weekend, we were talking about how the Tigers for the year have been quite staunch against Supercoach points. And they have been. They've been really good in defence, especially for Supercoach points. And then strap the boots on and we're just giving away points.
Yeah, well, I remember...
You have some.
I remember maybe 6 weeks ago we were talking on beers and break-evens, and I think at that point they'd conceded 1 Supercoach 100 all year, and it was like 102.
Yep.
That was obviously blown out of the water at half-time last week.
Everyone got 100.
There was a lot going on in that game,
There was
revenge.
the revenge.
Yeah.
That backstory is huge.
And Cowboys are on a trajectory that's fucking
Yeah, they're a scary
through
little
the
prospect
roof at the
at the
moment.
Yeah.
Let's start. Look, the Origin season hasn't benefited any team better than the Cows.
I don't think it's ever benefited a team,
Yeah.
except for this side. Well, I don't remember a team. I don't remember sitting there and going, Origin's the best thing that's happened to this team ever before.
Yep.
It's outrageous.
Funny how it's just they've just gone, oh, hang on, this is how you do it.
We can play footy. It was interesting. We were sitting here a few weeks ago, and Kempy said, I look at them and they look too uptight for me. I'd be having fun. And I remember thinking, fuck, that's so easy to say, Kempy. But ever since then, you watch them and just everything has changed. You had Todd Payton walking in the change room the other day in that shirt.
That was awesome.
All his head and just everything has completely changed.
Yeah.
I reckon that the boys went to Origin and he just loosened the chain a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're just enjoying
it all does centre around Drinkwater's form as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
He is
Drinky's been playing out of his skin.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been unreal. Speaking of being happy with the Wakeham 24, a Cam Munster 37 last week.
Yeah. I mean, the underperforming scores really hurt me last week. And look, Munster, he's going to be one of the better or best 5'8" through the rest of the season. So, look, he's going to be the real linchpin in my team, I think.
What I'm worried about with Munster is if you look at Storm and it's a favourable strength of schedule, meaning that like the Storm are going to put good scores on, they're going to win, that actually worries me about Munster.
Yeah, the feet go on the table.
Because I would, for Munster, just for him, I would rather the Storm have a difficult strength of schedule.
But when you look at the teams that he's going to be coming up against, like the Eels, it's going to be a tough one, and they sometimes do get done by the Eels. Panthers is going to be a tough one. He's going to have to turn up for that. Scores are always going to be deflated against the Panthers, though. The Raiders is going to be one that I think he's going to turn up in as well. The Dragons is the one that, on paper, awesome matchup. You think he's going to put him to the cleaners. That's the one he's going to get another 30 or something. So that's what I'm concerned about.
But the problem with your team now with the Turbo injury is he's your upside guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Isako has some upside in him as well. And then looking through, I mean, Talakai has shown a little bit of upside at times. Probably not as much as I'd hope.
Not enough.
Not enough for captaincy option each week.
Turbo was your out-and-out guy, the big dick. He was going to get you those 150 pluses. And it was...
And I structured my draft around that.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, you've probably come back to the pack your team's more similar to mine, where you're going to have to make your captaincy selections, like put a lot of effort in them, not just go, Turbo's my VC or he's my captain, sweet, he's going to get 100 plus, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You're going to be like me, like deliberating over every VC and captain choice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we just don't have that big guy that's going to be, at least 80 plus every week.
Yeah. And that is one thing that I've obviously thought about a lot, and I've got a really strong squad. Captaincy options are going to be something, and VC options as well. So clearing my bench a little bit, moving into finals.
I know what Patreon site you can go to check it out
exactly
as well.
I've been strapped into that. Don't you worry. Yeah. So look, things are not as bad as they should be for losing Turbo and a few other. Like,
no, it's pretty bad.
We'll get yours, don't worry.
Your CTWs, mate. Bailey Simonson, Sif Talakai, Fox, Matty Timoko. Fox I'm not huge on, but I think the other three, well, Matty Timoko and Sif I really like.
Yeah.
Bailey Simonson, to his credit, he's playing some really good footy.
He's playing some really good footy. Look, at the start of the season, would I have ever thought about bringing Bailey Simonson in? Never. Yeah. But the score's just undeniable.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's just been absolutely putting it down. Fox isn't going to be in my team very long.
Yeah, I think even if I had Fox in my comp, I think I'd let him go at the moment. Yeah.
Big thing for you, though, is you're 7th. There's 4 games left, and you can't really drop any games.
No. Got to win them all. But they're all winnable games.
Yep.
So don't worry, I've looked ahead at the matchups. And they are very winnable games. So
to be fair, your first 19 games are all winnable too. Only worry,
I've just got rid of all of the bad luck and all the bad juju. And, it's all good luck from me.
Positivity.
I'm positive.
I think the odds of you going undefeated from here are strong.
Yes. Oh, fuck you guys.
At fullback, Jermaine Asako, who I love. I will say I traded Asako a couple of weeks ago. I am a little bit worried with what I'm seeing from the Dolphins at the moment. Especially now that Jeremy Marshall-King's out.
The other thing is, what I noticed on the weekend with the hammer at left centre is, it's very much like Manu at right centre for the Roosters. It's just like,
gravitate.
Let's just get him ball and just be a full left edge dominant side. Like they were literally just trying to get him early ball again and again and again. If that continues, and the other thing that hurts Asako is Val Tafare. Yeah. He doesn't have a pass.
Say what you will about Branko, he's got one of the best drawing passes in rugby league.
Yes.
So that try that Big Val scored, great try, strength, everything, but
that ball would have went to Asako.
Anytime you need me, I'm here, and I've got about 10 metres of space here that I can do something with. That's a worry.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, the thing that's going to be I'm watching very closely is Branko Lee was named in the extended bench this week, so we'll see what happens with late mail. He might be a late switch in for Big Val.
The best thing for Asako in your side is Hammer going back to fullback and Branko Lee going back to centre. Because then they go back to being a right edge dominant attacking side.
Yeah.
There's a few moving pieces in that Dolphin side. I'm watching them for Conley Lemuelu. A lot of moving pieces there. That was very nervous.
And like their form at the moment has been pretty awful. They played quite well against the Broncos. I thought they were the better side, to be honest. They were a bit unlucky with a few moments of brilliance from Cobbo.
You're right. So JMK not being in that side, that's going to be interesting to see how.
They're an entirely different team without him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like they just visual, like stats indicate it, but just eye test.
No, I mean watching
awful.
Yeah. So I think if JMK does go down and he's out for the rest of the season, I think they have to move Cody back into either a rotation from utility or just into the because Milf is on the bench again as well.
He was named on the bench today, wasn't
he? Yeah. So
that actually might ultimately help your team.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. Yep. Interesting.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It's a bit like that. That's the beauty of draft at this time of the year.
Yeah.
No, my team.
You go, mate.
Yeah.
Been an interesting few weeks. We lost Nath, then we lost Turbo.
I'm hearing excuses.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well,
it's like an echo in here.
I think I've got to point it out.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's just stating what happened.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I lost those two. Campbell Graham's been a bit in and out. He's out for a few weeks now. Zach Hosking. I think that really hurt me was Zach Hosking and Conley Lemuelu just in the same week, which just shows you how hard first grade is. Both coaches just went, it's been a lot in your first year.
Yeah.
You just need to pull back a little
Well,
bit.
while we're here talking about those two, let's cover those two guys because we get a lot of questions about both of those players. Obviously, you're pretty confident that Hosking will go back to an 80-minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he will
towards the
back end of the season. Yeah.
Lemuelu is a little bit harder to predict because of Wayne, but obviously he's back on the edge this week, is he?
He's back on the edge, but Felice has a concussion,
Yeah.
and Aitken's in the centres at the moment.
Yep.
So there's multiple things standing in his way.
I think there was a lot of backstory behind the scenes about why he went and was starting in the back row as well. They needed extra middles because they had a shit ton of injuries in the middles at the start and middle of the season. That gave Lemuelu his chance. Obviously took it with both hands, but I don't think he probably would have got thrust into that without it. So,
mate, Wayne complimented him week in, week out. That's it. Just what mate. I don't have any mail on or anything, but I just think it wouldn't surprise me if Wayne just tempers him for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and even if he doesn't, he's one injury away from getting back in there. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Wayne's true form, he's fucking SuperCoach.
Oh, yeah, without it.
He has always done that as a coach. So very consistent, and he continues to.
It's a big surprise that this season he's had a really high scoring hooker.
Yeah.
It's never happened in his history ever.
Yeah.
That's the. I'm sort of in a spot now, and I was saying to you guys pre-show. 6 weeks ago, I was coming fourth, and with all these injuries and buys and shit, I didn't have guys that could drop, so I couldn't chase wins, and I didn't need them desperately. I think I've won one from my last 6 or one from my last 5, and I'm still sitting in fourth.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I actually might win this weekend. I've just checked the matchup. I'm a chance. But even if I was to lose the next 2 weeks, I still think I'd be fourth. My comp's unbelievable the way it's all.
That's crazy.
So I've won 1 from 6 and started that 6-game run at fourth, and I'm still sitting in fourth. I almost died.
Jesus, you're getting choked up about it. Getting very emotional about the final.
Take it away.
Yeah, right. Okay. I love your front row though. Obviously, the two big Canberra Raiders boys here, Big Red and Tarpanay,
hugely informed.
With Josh Papali'i out with a hammy that could linger, that could get pushed out. I think a little bit with his age.
Quite possibly.
Big Red's just absolutely humming at the moment. He's unfucking stoppable.
I love the fact that he's got JDB as well, that he can rotate in the forwards if there's an injury.
Good
so
depth.
really
Tarpanay, we know what Tarpanay does. He loves to play well at the back end of the season. This is where he frees up the offload. This is where he gets a little bit loose in the middle. Huge game for him this week. He'll get bulk minutes. No Josh Papali'i, no Big Red. Yeah.
They're going to need him big time.
Yeah.
With the go forward.
Set and forget captain this week.
Thing I like about the Raiders and their run home, not so much their games, but just where they're placed. They're fifth at the moment. They've got one bye to come, but they're for and against this minus 65.
Yeah.
So no matter where they finish, they're going to be at the bottom of that pile, which there's always going to be a pile. So I'm just excited to see them get to the back end of the season and Ricky going, hey, we have to be winning games.
Yeah.
Because if we drop games, it could mean we go from 5th to 9th in one game because our for and against is so fucking putrid, and we can't win a game by more than 3 fucking points. Yeah. So that's the one thing that has me really excited. And obviously, we're coming to the back end of the season with Joe Tappanay and Horsburgh and these sort of guys. I love that it's actually amazing.
It's a really
good
base
to get those two in the same year because it was a big punt at the start of the year, but it's worked out well,
especially with the Ricky rotation.
And something else.
Yeah, I've got very lucky on that front for sure.
Something else you've done well is you picked up Little, which has sort of shored up your hooker spot, which was your weakest point last
Sonny
time.
Luke.
We talked about it.
Hasn't that gone?
That is going to free you up to move Horsburgh down to your back row, and then you can AE your front row now coming into finals. You know, the plans to AE your hooker spot.
Yep.
Now you can sort of shore up your back row a little bit better there because obviously you've got Havili in there. You don't want to stick with him.
But that's only this week because I've got Hosking and Adam Elliott on the bench.
Yeah.
So when I've got them all...
Are you confident with Adam Elliott?
What's that?
Are you confident with Adam Elliott?
He's been underwhelming.
He's been underwhelming, but in a 14-man league, he does enough. If he's my worst 2RF,
fair
I'm completely fine with that.
Yep.
I also think that in games where they're up by heaps or they're winning or they're out, he doesn't bother putting him back on. So I just need the right sort of games for Adam Elliott. But that's a punt each week. There's no doubt about that. I'm actually more so thinking at the moment that one of my CTWs will probably be my AE come finals time.
Yep.
So I'm going to have my very good forward pack. It's going to lay a very good base for me. And if Nath or KP, one of them can just go big, or Campbell Graham is in that same sort of category, then I'll be okay.
I'll be talking a lot about your boy KP coming up to this strength of schedule stuff.
Yeah.
And you may faint because of the blood rushing to your penis.
I'm excited about KP.
I thought you would be.
Yeah, he
Look,
looks...
that move back to fullback has just, it just worked a treat for him.
Yeah, it's worked a treat. And he's goal kicking now.
Yeah.
Kicked 44 points in goals the other day.
In the left edge.
He was actually kicking them well as well.
Yeah.
Like the last time he kicked, he was not too flash.
Well, that's the other thing as well. In my comp, the guy that I think's got the most chance to win now that I've got a couple of injuries, he's got Fafita and Hines, which is massive, but his next best player is Marcia. So I've got KP. So it's like...
Yeah.
Right, and I'll be honest, like, because I'm an owner of Marzio as well, and I was looking at next big game out of him, selling him because he's on the wrong edge, because the Knights have been dominant down their right.
Yeah.
And then what I saw on the weekend, I went, just hold fire there.
Yeah, I think you hold.
Because that left looked fucking amazing.
Oh, Brabham
Fitzgibbon,
Best got a blue spot
Best.
because of it.
KP was there, Marzio, like, I mean,
Well, not according to Brandy. Anyway.
amazing.
Not a good Brandy. I got love listening to Brandy at the moment. Rather headbutt a fucking wall. So yeah, forward pack's great. Halves I'm okay with. I've had Sandon Smith in there the last few weeks. He's done a job for me. Nath will come back, so I can make a move there. Yeah, CTWs is getting tough though. It's just been little things like fucking last week, Billy Smith, Campbell Graham, all these guys out. I had a couple of weeks ago. Fuck, it was a shocker. What happened? Billy Smith. The Roosters were playing Penrith, and in the 24 hours before, 2 players got cut. Hosking, Billy Smith. Yeah. So I lost a 2RF and a CDD. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Are you for real? So yeah, come finals time, Tony Staggs, Campbell Graham, then Billy Smith, and then, mate, in my comp, if I can just have Dylan Walker get me a 40 at CTW every week,
Which
I'm okay
which
with
he
that.
will.
Yeah.
Which he will based on how he's been scoring this
You
season.
just need, for your team, you just need guys to do a job so that you can get your VC and captain right. Whoever plays first, your VC Nathan Cleary, your VC KP, Nathan Cleary for captain, however it works out, and them coming up against good matchups, which I'm telling you now, KP does, and Cleary is matchup proof. That's your golden ticket.
Yeah, I'm going to be, I think come final time, I'll be walking the tightrope a little bit, having 13 and then 1 AE or whatever. But I'm more than happy to do that. And I think it's going to be very, very crucial for me to finish top 4.
So after this week, I take it you're going to be using Havili's spot to be your VC loop each week if you need to.
Yeah, like...
Or are you looking to keep him?
I think I'm going to hold him for now just to see what happens over the next few weeks.
Okay.
Because I think I want to have a spot that I can fuck around with the waiver wire. But I think next week that'll be Sandon Smith.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, Walker is returning via Cup this week.
Yeah.
So interesting one to see how he pulls up.
I really like this Sandon Smith.
He's
also
very good.
also
I've got him
cheats.
on my side. I handcuffed him with Walker.
So it'd be ideal if he stays in the side because then I could play KP at fullback and play Sandon Smith at 5'8", Nathan Cleary at 7. But I think Sam Walker surely comes in and takes the spot.
Has to. But
do they want it?
ACL sprain. We've talked to physio about it. Brian reckons that it's a one
potential.
bad knock away from being a full ACL.
Okay.
So walking a tightrope.
Yeah. Tough. Then Sebi Chris at fullback, who has been a weirdly very good pick for me this year. He's done a job.
Chugging away and doing his thing.
Doesn't miss footy, just does a job for me every week. Scored a try on the weekend and scored 36, so that was nice.
Got to be happy with that.
So getting some players back soon and then the season will really start for me. But boys, I've managed to, the big point of difference for my team is I've managed to keep that for and against.
Yeah.
I'm 400 points in front of second place at the moment. So I've got that in my back pocket.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's what's kept you in the
okay.
position where you are.
Yeah, and when Cleary got injured, I said if I can win 2 out of the next 6, that'll be a win. If I win this weekend, it'll be 2 from 6.
Yep.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah, that's all I needed just to hang in that 4. So
That's it. Just survive.
Yep.
Keep your head above water
That's all it's been, a survivor game.
until the boys come back. And
No.
then
Supercoach Survivor's at the end of the show, mate.
Doesn't it just, it's a classic example of just why the start of your season is so important.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you remember when we were sitting here in week 1 and my team looked shambles?
Yep.
And then week 3 it went bang?
Yep.
If it would have taken an extra month,
you wouldn't be in the same
Curry
position.
right now.
You wouldn't
I'd
be in the same
Curry
position.
because of all these injuries and shit.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of draft. How good. Any other questions on mine, boys, or are we?
No, like I said, you just need to keep those other boys getting you above 40 points and let your big guns do the work.
Yeah.
All right, Natty. You're in the top 4 as well, as we all should be as experts.
Well, since we talked last, I just absolutely nailed it. To be honest, I was first for the most part for last month. I was clicking away at first. Had a loss on the weekend.
Yeah, but what about your points scored?
Oh, I don't have a great point scored, but yeah, I'm still.
That was a piss take of Walker from pre-show. Those didn't pick up on it.
They would get it. It was a good impersonation. They would have got that.
Yeah.
So
I love you,
week. Yeah, you're the best. You're very, very predictable, but you are the best. So yeah, had a loss on the weekend. So now I'm coming second, but equal points on the ladder with first. I think I'm coming 6th for points scored, just for the people that are playing that game. But yeah, since then, Pappenhausen, I finally made that move of getting rid of Pappenhausen.
Just in time for him to come back.
Yeah. So, but I traded Pappenhausen for 2024 first round draft pick DWZ.
Oh my God.
So
The Detroit Lions have made a move.
So in the week I brought him in, scored 175. Just saying, one of the best free agent pickups.
I didn't realise you did cross year draft trades. Is that a franchise first or?
No.
Or has it happened before?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just take the piss.
He's,
I think
an
he's
absolute
blowing smoke
weapon.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been mad.
Jeez, you fell for that one, didn't you? Fell
Well,
head first.
it wouldn't be in the top 15 weirdest shit that happens in your comp, so
True.
it wouldn't
play.
shock me in the
So
slightest.
DWZ came in. With that 175 game, I VC'd him. That was early doors, that game. Won that one, which won me Isaiah Yo. Isaiah Yo comes into the Bros, which is a nice little pickup because 2RFs has always been my weak spot. He comes in. On the weekend, I lost the play bet. So I gave the guy Mawika Fodawaka and Jacob Kiraz to appease him to not touch my
just to
guns.
clarify, you guys agreed to do away with the vetoes.
Yes.
So he could have picked anyone, including Grant, including Manu, including Marju, and he didn't pick any of those.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Wonder why that
Really
is.
generous of you to give him Kiraz.
Yeah. Yep. He has done absolutely nothing.
He's been.
No, we
Mind
know.
you, big mofo, 65, averaging front row, not too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what
you
happens.
could get 55 off the waiver, but
Yeah, probably 65 on our waiver, to be honest.
and to be fair, you could find a CTW on your waiver doing the same thing as Kiraz too.
Oh,
so.
big time. Easy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So he's got away scot-free.
But that just
I think we
doesn't-
call that natty free.
that just doesn't
Exactly
doesn't
right.
happen, Walker. You know, that just doesn't happen out of thin air.
When you're the commissioner, it does.
Yeah.
It
well,
comes down to how
he's
you work.
the one
And what do
who
we always
approves
say?
or denies the trades.
Play the man. Play the man.
I'll tell you what. Two of you said it best. There needs to be an investigation.
And the reason I love doing this because on the chat, because you can actually hear the venom. You can hear the venom in Walker's WhatsApp messages, and it gets him right up when people don't take the players he wants them to take. Someone take one of his guns, would ya?
I didn't say anything until after the trades were done.
Who wasn't taking the guns in the group? Who was it?
Jace.
Oh, okay.
He was
And you don't have to.
He was
can be a good
he was
guy.
a pubic hair away from getting kicked out of the league.
I've won.
I do recall. Yeah.
I've won 4 player bets, and I've only taken 1 player out of those 4 player bets.
Shout out to you, Jace, you dickhead.
Don't worry, Jace. You'll be in the league next year.
Yeah, paid
Remember-
with blood.
Remember what we said?
Blood money.
I got you, boo.
Blood
I
money.
got you, boo.
All right, let's go through your team, mate. Harry Grant at hooker.
Are there any better hookers?
You know what? He is the best hooker by far and away, but he might also be the most disappointing.
he's
He's
still not
underperformed
great.
massively.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like I said to you earlier in the green room, I don't captain him anymore. He doesn't even make my captain VC because he's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
He could score 90 or he could drop a 30.
He's like Munster.
For sure.
Except Munster's a higher upside and he's more disappointing.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, in order for him to get a 90 now, you're looking at a you need to try. You probably need
A
to
try and
try.
A try and assist and a try. Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is, he needs Nelson Asafa-Solomona playing front row and playing above 45 minutes. That's how crucial it is to his game. Nelson needs to be playing that game. Shores up the middle, gives him space, gets him quick play of the balls. It also puts defenses in two minds when he's 5 metres out. Is he going to go short? Is he going to go long? Is he going to put a grubber? Without him there, he's just not as effective.
Yeah. And we spoke about this in the preseason too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're always going to go hand in hand once Brandon Smith left.
Like teams have caught on to defending the line better for hookers. Like they did have the rule change where they had to be on the line rights and stuff.
Yep.
So that was one thing that I thought was going to be a bit difficult for him to
Now,
bring Grant back to the pack.
If some of my other players hadn't been killing it, I'd be really worried because he's my first round draft pick. But I've had a couple other guys that have just clicked into gear, which is obviously helping me a lot in the VC captain stakes.
Yeah, geez, I every time I look at your team, I forget that I picked half these guys out to you over the years.
Yeah.
Always comes back to me. Ruben Cotter, mate, what part of South Queensland did you see him playing in?
Yeah. Look, he'll be fine. He'll be once Origin's done.
Didn't see you in the birthing room, but anyway.
They once the Origin's done, he'll be a 60-point averaging front row, and I'll be happy with that.
Yep.
Well, speaking of Origin front rowers, Stefano.
Yeah, he won't stay on my team for long. That's who I got given.
He doesn't stay in most teams for long at the moment.
It's atrocious that he got
That was a
dropped.
New South Wales joke for those playing at home.
It's atrocious that he
we
got
don't
dropped from the
care.
Blues.
Good.
Atrocious.
Yeah. It's not our worst.
12 minutes and gets fucking dropped.
Either side of half time.
He'll barely stay on my team for 12 minutes. I'll give you the hot tip. He got given to me when I lost Mofo. So
Oh, not much of a drop though.
yeah.
Two RFs, Isaiah Yeo and Sean Bloor. Bloory's been an all right little pickup.
Until he got dropped to the bench,
Of course, yes.
which is fantastic.
Was that today? I actually haven't looked
was,
at team
yeah.
list yet.
So
okay.
He's been amazing. Like he scored.
So
he
have they
scored
moved Bold to 13?
Fanoa Pole back to 13.
54
He's
points
gonna rotate and play probably 60 minutes.
in a drumming.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know about him, but I am biding time until Ellie Katoa comes back.
I don't think I've ever owned Isaiah Yeo. Ever.
I owned him when he was down as CTW 2F.
Maybe I did.
That was
actually,
way
yeah.
back when.
It's my first time, and he was very disappointing on the weekend.
I don't think I will ever own Isaiah Yeo, just the role he plays for Penrith. I just think I'll always
I
go
will
for
say
more.
this: if you just watch Isaiah Yeo over the next couple of rounds without Nathan Cleary, he almost plays like a halfback role. That's how much he has his hands on the ball, which hurts his Supercoach score. He'll drop his 3-round, 5-round average until Nathan Cleary comes back is going to be quite low. When Cleary comes back and takes over that role,
Jumps up.
his base will go back up. And like before the weekend, I think it was
But
his
his-
5-round average was 70 something.
But also his try contributions will go up as well
Yep.
because he's always one pass away from the try
Yep.
when Cleary's playing.
So you might be able to get Yo on the cheap right before Cleary comes back.
Yeah.
So whack that in your black book.
Because
Just jot it
there's
down
going to be
somewhere.
a lot of the owners are going to get a little bit frustrated over scores in the next month.
100%.
Sure.
100%.
All right, now I was just having a look through Supercoach, and the only Roosters players that are available at halfback or 5'8" are Manu, Keary, Hutchinson, Walker, Sandon Smith, and Zach Docker-Clay. You've got 3 of those in your draft team.
Yeah.
You've got Manu, you've got Sandon Smith,
Yep.
and you've got Sammy Walker as
He's a bit of a homer.
So obviously, Sandon Smith.
Have you considered
Walker.
Zach Docker-Clay?
I don't know. Maybe Stefano can. I'll give him the boot and he can come
He
in.
has been talking to the Keary owner as well.
It's really only
I'm
one.
surprised you
pick.
didn't take a punt on Hutcho.
Smith and Walker are pretty much one pick because he's handcuffed. So once Walker comes back, Smith will get the boot. And Manu, I mean, Manu's shift to centre, and we just talked about it with Hammer. It's just get the big kid the ball.
Yes.
Get the big kid the ball, and he just does all the work. And it's just ding, 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 ding for Supercoach. Every run he has, it's 2 tackle breaks, an offload, a flick ball. The other thing is the right winger is going to come into play a lot because he's going to have so much space.
He's playing a little bit like prime Teddy, a little bit in that
Just
he
fucking
just
hard to handle.
Hard to handle. So many tackle breaks. It's just like you said, it's ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
Every time he takes a run, it's like 10 points in tackle
They
breaks.
finally get it, the Roosters. They finally clicked and just went, oh, just pass him
Just
the
pass
ball.
him the ball.
Okay. So if he continues that, because the Roosters' run is really good in the finals, I'll talk about that soon, especially for the right edge attacking players for the Roosters. So I love him.
Just to note, it's for SuperCoach finals, not for NRL finals.
Yeah.
They won't be there.
They won't. They won't be there. As long as they keep getting him early ball and he keeps doing that, he'll be a VC or captain option every week, I think.
The other ball player you've got there is 5'8" Ezra Mann coming off the bench. He obviously stole that one.
He's been disappointing, hasn't he?
I do not. He is a scary guy to own because he needs a try to score over 50 or 2 assists.
Jeez, you trapped him in that one, didn't you?
Did I?
Okay,
It was
How's it coming, kid?
It was an inception from last season.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I've got a
he
feeling,
called that at the start of last year too.
Yeah.
Said, "You watch this dickhead." Nice.
I don't think Mam will last in my team during the finals because I've got Manu there. I can play at 5'8", and I've got DWZ and Greg Marzu, my CTWs.
Yeah, fair shout, mate. The other guy I missed actually is in your back row, Eli Katoa.
Yep.
Obviously got scratched in the eye or something the other day. It's pretty rank.
They reckon he'll be back next round.
Okay.
Apparently. But,
isn't that a double whammy for you if you can move if they move Nas back to the middle? You get Eli Katoa on the edge and Harry Grant.
Grant playing better. Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Great.
And you desperately need
I hope they play Eli
Blaw's
Katoa on the left for no apparent reason.
Exactly. With Blaw not starting and he obviously not going to get 80 minutes, I do need Eli Katoa to come back and play an 80-minute role on that right edge, who is another player that has a fantastic strength of schedule.
Be great if he came back on the left. Just completely fucked you on all fronts. That'd be unreal. If they played him at hooker or something, even better.
No, he'll be right.
He
looks
like
good
that.
on the right.
All right, let's move to your CTWs. I will point out again, and I have to say it, I think it is incredibly cowardly you only play with 2 CTWs, but we will proceed. DWZ, who has been...
Here on the side that big balls play.
It's a big balls play. You got to get them right.
Yeah.
You can't just be picking up friggin' Billy Smiths and all this sort of shit.
Let's have an 8-man bench and let's have 1,000 CTWs. Just, so I don't have to do anything on the waivers or free agents.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know what's incredible? You both only have to pick 2 and they're still fucking shit in both of your teams. You still don't have yourself a Campbell Graham. Miss me.
Campbell Graham's injured.
DWZ this week. He'll be back.
Have you heard
I've
of a
got
bloke-
big old Bailey Simonson, thank you very much.
Bailey Simonson. I forgot about him.
DWZ, who has been on an absolute tear.
Future immortal.
I don't think I told you guys, but DWZ, he really hurt my feelings a few weeks ago when I was in Canberra. That game, he was playing obviously.
Yeah.
No, I walked into the coffee shop in the morning. I made eye contact with him. He said hello, and I went, "Hey mate, how are you?" He goes, "Yeah, good." He goes, "We're in Canberra. Keep in mind." He goes, "I didn't know you lived down here, bro." I was like, "Do I look like I live in Canberra? Is that what you're telling me, Dallin? That I look like I live in Canberra?"
Just a question.
You've got a mullet down to your ass, and you're telling me I look like I live in
Is
fucking
that
Canberra.
mullet as glorious up
it's better.
close? Yeah, I thought it's better.
Really nice
I've heard
guy
it
too,
smells
champion
lovely as
fella.
well.
Yeah.
It is the best mullet in the game.
Just game day morning,
Top
went
5
away
all
from the
time.
team, went and got a coffee on his own. I like that.
Yeah.
Just took some time to himself. Love that from DWZ. And Greg Marshue of Missed the Bus
The
fame.
beast.
Hates a bus.
Greg Marshall. Yep. He's good. It's good.
He's very good.
Yes.
It's good squishy Greg Marshue. And your fullback, Dare to Jareem. Let's ignore last week.
Yep.
Anomaly, but outside of that, mate, I love watching this kid play.
Yep.
I actually don't know how I missed his name coming through.
Yeah.
First time I saw him in first grade.
Yeah,
Poor from
time out of
It is poor from me.
Well,
I'm
he
actually very
He had a
disappointed.
bit
with
of
myself.
time out of the game chasing his basketball dreams, so kind of make dreams.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting.
So they lured him back to rugby league.
Out guru the guru.
Yeah, Walker could be anything.
Clip
Watch out.
that up. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez, I might have to start making some shit Supercoach picks.
Turn it up.
And your other CTW is Katoni Staggs, who's also in my team, who
Wow.
I got him, and
That
then
stinks.
the next week he had 18 runs, and I went, how good's this? The next week he had 15. I went, this is okay. He had 4 on the weekend. So,
Another guy that probably won't stay on my side.
probably stay in mine, but
Yeah, your options are a little bit
Yeah.
lower.
yes.
Yeah. But I'm also looking.
God, he's
because-
frustrating though.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, I don't want to own him. To be
I think
honest.
This is the
I've
fir-
owned him 3 years in a
This is
row.
the first season that I haven't owned him.
Yeah, I don't wanna own him.
I'm not touching him with a barge pole because, look, he's just as a Broncos fan, I love him. But for a super coach, he just misses all of his opportunities, doesn't go chasing the ball. they just don't get him good ball. And then now he's got Cobbo outside of him. Sometimes you just get left out of those attacking raids.
Yeah.
Altogether.
A lot of the time he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know what annoys me about Staggs? When he gets left out or he doesn't get the ball,
he doesn't
phase
follow
him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
There's been times where I see him in dummy half and Cobbo bumps him out of the way and he just whereas if someone does that to Manu, he goes, fuck off.
Yeah.
This is my ball, I'm taking it.
Exactly.
I just wish he had that about him.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the game last, well, you would, as a Broncos fan, as an owner, you would notice, there was a play that he sweeped to the left-hand side.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball when he got it, but he was sweeping into space, so he'd come all the way from the other
that
side.
exciting.
And I thought, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Never happen again.
Yeah.
Because he's got such
glued himself
upside,
to the
just
right
such
tram line.
upside in his game.
Yeah.
And untapped potential. Like that year that he played Origin, playing out of his skin.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that since. No. Like it's he's just not consistent on the field. Even throughout a game, he's not consistent, and that's the real failing.
I was a little bit surprised this week the amount of people when Bradman Best got selected saying that it should have been Katoni and he deserves it. I'm not seeing it. I don't.
No.
I've seen a few, and I don't know if it's just because Bradman was so rogue, but I got a number of messages and saw a number of comments. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how you.
Tungo was closer, surely.
Mate, tell me about
I've got one Bronco.
How did they go? How did they not think about? No, never mind. No, I just can't believe Tungo missed out. And Bradman, they literally snapped the decision. Bradman Best scored a hat trick. Let's get him in.
What about Isaac's last couple of weeks?
The boy can play.
Yeah, could be anything.
Wow.
He could be anything. He is anything.
He is right now.
He's graduated. He's out. He's out in the big world now.
He's everything.
Graduate.
He's left. Could be anything. Bill.
anything.
He got the bus out.
Everything.
Got the monorail straight out. All right,
Straight to
boys.
Ogdenville.
Will that do us for?
Yeah, that's the team.
That will.
Obviously, I'm humming. You two are struggling. That's the conclusion of that little segment.
Right.
If you had to say right now, if you had to give me a percentage, what chance are you to win your comp this year?
I would say 75%.
75.
Yeah.
So 100 being you couldn't possibly lose it.
Yep.
You're at 75.
Yep.
So 50 being it's a 1 in 2 shot, you win your comp.
Yep.
You got yourself at 75.
Yep.
Okay.
That's blind confidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or stupidity. Where have you got yourself sitting at? 7th?
Yeah, I'm.
Yep.
I was going to say around maybe 20%.
20%.
If I make the finals, I will ramp that up massively. But I've got to make the finals first, so I've got to be realistic.
It's top 8, yeah?
Top 6.
Top 6. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really have to win every game.
But like I
Backs
said,
against the wall where you do your best work.
Hey,
Normally, it's his stomach against the wall.
always beware of the threatened animal.
Oh, glory hole Walker. All right. What have we got here? Waiver wire priority strategy.
Yes. So something that I've implemented in the Loveless League is obviously where I am at the ladder, I can afford myself to not be too active on the waiver. And I want to be a top waiver claim, which I am now on number 1, because I know now.
So this is obviously for people that do their waiver wire like this.
Yeah. So
Yes, yeah.
last pick to bottom.
Yep.
Is the system that this would work at. So I'm number 1 now because I can be, because I don't have to be too active on the waiver. I just see what's available in free agents in the morning. Whereas people like Walker will have to be active. And because it's so congested in that area around 6th, 7th, 8th, or actually 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
All the way down.
Yeah. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to get desperate.
Rash decisions.
People are going to drop guns to win games, and that's where you want to have priority number 1.
Especially these next 2 weeks when we're talking about 2 big buy rounds. So obviously this round, it's going to be too late for anyone watching now. But next week, round 20, we've got 3 teams on the buy. 2 teams of those actually have players that people will own. Chances are a lot of decent players will be getting dropped.
I think it's
Like your
also
Isaiah
worth,
Tassers
and it's
stuff.
unlikely, but when you get to the back end of this season, like names like Roger Tuivasa-Sheck,
Exactly.
Yeah.
something was to happen there. I also wouldn't be surprised. There's a couple of rumours around about decent players leaving to go to other clubs for the back end of the season, obviously. So a lot floating around there. That
Sure.
if you're in a comp where you can hold number 1, whereas mine it restarts every week based on the waiver wire. So if you are in one like Natty's, Be very patient and
For sure.
pick your right guy. Pick a sure fucking thing
Not
in
only
a
that,
good position.
It's like when you go into finals and teams start to dwindle, that's when people are desperate as well to win games. And you always want to be, especially if you go into the grand final and you are above that person that you're playing on the waiver wire, that means you have a free run at anyone over him. That's gold. That is fucking gold.
And if you manage to get to the grand final as well, having that first one is huge. But then it also means that you can look at their team and what they need for that week. You start to cock block as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Black ball.
There's levels to this.
100%. So, yeah, it's really important. And I love that I got there because now...
The England cricket team would say that's not in the spirit of the game.
Of course they fucking would.
Not
Then they do it. Then we'd find out they did it themselves.
Exactly.
Fucking Derricks.
So, yeah.
What the fuck was that about, by the way?
Oh, God.
It's
Bairstow tried it. He tried it the fucking innings before.
I love the coach too, the old tape of him trying to get out.
Exactly.
Morally when he's celebrating, you fucking idiots.
What a dog.
It's actually perfect. It played out that way.
Yeah.
They went from trying to paint us as dogs to them just coming across like fucking morons.
Oh, worked out perfect.
It's it couldn't have gone better.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
All right. The Wire, the cricket show that everyone's needed and wanted. So long.
Exactly right.
No one ever knew that they needed it.
We covered it on Bloke in a Bar today. That was this week. That was a thrill. It was just Matty the Waterboy swearing. He lost his mind. Dominant edges.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something I want to touch on here, and this is how I approach SuperCoach each week when I talk about start sits or VC captain options, but also gambling as well, punting, picking ATSs in my multis. And so with the stats that you can find on the Patreon, again, go out there, $5 a month, piece of piss. You can look at the team sheet, and it'll show you where teams are dominant in attack and where teams are weak in defense. So what I like to look at is the perfect matchup where you have a dominant attacking side, just say a dominant right edge attacking side, coming up against a team that is weakest on their left. That's a perfect matchup, right? And that's where you can start looking at your start sits, captain options, stuff like that. So at the moment, for your dominant attacking teams, so Cows, supremely dominant on their right attack. Dragons, and no one cares, but they're dominant on their right. Tigers, dominant on their right. Warriors, really dominant on their right. Titans, super dominant on their left. Sharks, left. Now, for weak edge defensive teams, you've got Dragons, really weak on their left. Dolphins left, Manly left, Sharks left, Tigers left, Titans right, Eels right, Roosters right. So when you have teams that match up with those dominant attacking versus weak, that's
it's like
where
the perfect storm.
it's SuperCoach heaven. And it's also try-scoring heaven because you can really dial in your ATSs. So, for example, I mean, this week's a little bit hard because it's a bye round. There's new players coming in. It's a little bit harder to predict. But round 20, you have Cows right edge playing Manly, their left edge. So that's a lovely matchup. You can look at Semi Velame, the right wing there. He's a nice plug and play. He's a great ATS there. Warriors right edge attack up against Sharks, their left edge defense. DWZ, CNK, SJ. For good SuperCoach games, also DWZ, probably a good ATS there. Titans left versus Eels right. Titans left is specifically centered around Dave Fafita. Dave Fafita needs to be playing for this to work because it's the Dave Fafita effect. He's such a big component of that attack. Even if he doesn't even touch the ball, he
draws defenders.
Sucks in so many defenders. Brian Kelly gets some space. He puts AKP in the corner. But that's a nice matchup as well because you've got Titans who are scoring 2.1 tries a game down their left in comparison to 0.8 down their right. That's how dominant they are down their left. Coming up against the Eels, who concede 1.5 tries, 2 left attacks a game.
Yeah, right.
Just licking your fucking lips going, okay, this is where we start. That's a sexy matchup. Now let's dive into some more stats about, okay, how many points are they conceding to wingers, CTWs, 5/8s, whatever. You can dive as deep as you want, but that's a really good point to start is those dominant attacking edges coming up against weak edges. Pause, rewind, pad and pen, write that shit down. I'm telling you, it's fucking gold.
Yeah, absolute gold. All right, round 19 to 24, run the table.
Yeah, so this is looking at you lead into the finals, making moves to either fetch players. I'll be going through a few flip options, so guys that you either want to cash in or you need to really get improved scores out of. And, looking to drop guys out of teams that are probably going through a bit of a tough patch from a strength of schedule perspective. So,
and these are the guys, if you're running the table, you need wins to make the finals. You don't really fucking care about what's happening in the finals. You just need to make it.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be on the dance floor to actually have a bit of a dance. So, first one out of those is the Cows. Overall, they have the worst strength of schedule leading into these next 5 rounds. So they come up against a number of decent teams, and they're right in their middle that they're really coming up against some top opposition. So, Dearden, Valame, Nanai. They're looking, if you're needing the wins, those are the guys you'll be getting the most value out of at the moment.
What about Valame doing a fucking impression of a first grader the last few weeks?
God.
I couldn't believe when he debuted at Canberra. I didn't think he'd last more than a month.
No.
He's been unreal up there.
For sure.
Look, he's got the size about him, and he's obviously keeping out one of the best try scorers in the history of the Cows.
Every time Felt comes in, he plays mad, and he still
gets
get
dropped.
Yeah. Wild.
It's because it looks like Felt's turned back the clock.
Yep.
And he's still out of the team.
So a perfect one there, obviously saying Cows have got a poor strength of schedule. Which selling high on drinking now, would that be...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, selling high on Dearden off that 170, that's licking your lips sort of thing.
Just to get someone in that's got a better run.
Absolutely. Because they've got 2 buys over that period. So you're getting 0 points out of those games. But they've also got, on top of that, difficult matchups in the games that they play. So... it leans in heavily. If you need the wins, you've got any of these Cows guys, you can almost get a 2-for-1 trade out of those guys. So you could be getting, for Dearden, you could be getting a decent 5'8" plus someone else.
Yeah.
Or for Drinky, you could be getting
Anyone
a decent fullback or the best fullback, which he is at the moment.
Yep. And I know that people are listening to that and going, there's no way I would trade Drinky. He is supersonic at the moment, but how many points is he going to score if you're not in the finals?
Well, and how many points is he going to score in those 2 buys that he plays?
Yeah, goose egg again.
Fucking goose egg.
So I think if you're someone that's
if you need the wins,
really struggling in 7th place, you can make a big move.
Yeah, if you own Drinky.
If you
exactly.
No, but it is like Drinky is the sort of guy you could move on if you're 9th,
Absolutely.
10th, and you just need to peg that 8th or 6th.
I promise you, Drinky won't know that you sold him either. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't know. Like, it's not going to hurt his feelings.
And if you look positionally, Robson, Cotter, Drinky, they all have the worst strength of schedule over that period for their position.
Wasn't bad from you.
I'll have my moments.
That's good.
All right, on to the next. So we've got the Warriors. They've got the fourth worst strength of schedule. They've been playing out of their skin as well. It's really their right. 2 guys there, DWZ and SJ, that I'll be looking to move on. It's only really if you're desperate. The Wires run actually gets quite amazing when they get into the finals. It does go supersonic. So this would be you'd be selling high on DWZ, who we can see what he can score each and every week. SJ as well. I mean, there's some people who've drafted SJ plus another halfback at the start of the season because of the injury woes. They would have got him quite late in the draft as well.
Yep.
So there are a lot of questions about moving on SJ, cashing in, see if they can get something else in the meantime just to prop themselves up for the finals. Because they've got Eels, Sharks, Raiders, then they got the bye, and then Titans and Tigers, and that's where their run really starts to kick into gear. So it's the next few rounds is going to be fairly tough for them against the Eels, Sharks, and Raiders. That the points might dry up. On to the next. So the Dogs. I'm going to just skip over this because I don't think the Dogs players have any value at the moment. So I would have said the Fox, the left, because they got the second worst.
Really, we're really enjoying you dragging this out.
All right, Sharkies. The Sharkies. The left, specifically Moiser and Wilton. So they got the 14th strength of schedule, 14th worst strength of schedule. Oh god! Look, selling high on Moiser, you have to consider doing it. He's not going to be scoring that each week, and Hines is such a dominant half that the points aren't going to be shared around as much. You need to cash him while you can. Wilton, he's missed more tackles than I've had hot dinners, and as you can see, I've had a lot of hot dinners. So you need to be moving him on just in case there is the overhanging issue of him getting dropped or at least reduced minutes at some point in the season. I'm still concerned about it as an owner, and it is something that is hanging over his head.
It's got to happen.
Yeah. It's got to happen because that edge has been conceding so much.
You
so
just
much.
can't.
When I text you after that missed, well, it wasn't even a missed tackle. It was just like he was just lost at sea.
Yeah.
He just
And that's why he quite often gets away with no missed
just
tackles
went,
on his worst players.
Fuck, where am I? Shit.
Yeah. It's
Bad.
It's not good. Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. So yeah, he is definitely one that, like, as an owner, I'm concerned about. I'm lucky that I've got a bit of backup that I can manage my way through it if I need to. But yeah, next one is the Storm. So the Storm have the third worst run for that period as well. The right is where I'd be looking to cash in.
Yep.
Hughes,
Nas, and Willie Warbrick. Obviously, Willie Warbrick coming off that 10, probably not good value at the moment.
he's still
to get
on
rid
the
of.
teacup ride, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fuck
He
me.
is,
rigor mortis set in pretty quick after that hit. Scary.
He's
Take
going to need. He's going to need. He's going to need.
Calm down, Isaac.
He is going to need that week off. Put it that way.
Wow.
Just on that hit, like we spoke about it on Monday, he's a big boy, Warbrick. He's coming
He's
from
not
rugby
small.
sevens where it's all one-on-one
And he
contact.
came in and gave it everything he had.
I was like telling you, it was like Kemby made a good point. Like the contact happened, and Isaac Tungo didn't have that moment of fuck.
No, he just
just
went,
kept
there's
going.
go.
Just kept going.
It's insane
Because and the thing is, like, it was such a big hit, like big contact, that everyone stopped and went, oh well, the tackle be made. It's really good hit. He's rushed in. He's
No.
he just scored.
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah,
It's like he came out of the contact quicker than he went into it.
Yeah.
that's rugby
Unbelievable.
league porn. That's what
Yes.
that is.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Sorry, what?
He is everything.
He is everything. He is. You need. That's a t-shirt.
He is
On the
everything.
front, he could be anything. He could be anything. On the back,
He
Should I
is.
do the one that we
He's
can flip
everything.
it over? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. please
shut up
do.
and take my money.
Yeah. So look, the Hughes and Nas are the two guys that I'll be looking at to definitely cash in there, just based on their run of form coming up is just going to be really, really tough.
And look, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you can use that to your advantage here if you want to sell players that are in the Warriors, Sharks, or Storm. Because what you can say to who you're selling it to, you can say, okay, I want to get rid of this player, but have a look at their strength of schedule in the finals.
Yeah.
You're coming third. You need these guys more than me.
Yeah.
Have a look at their strength of schedule from round 23 to 26. It's very fucking delectable. Give me this guy because I need him more than you.
And it's not-
and they're going to be happy with that.
Yeah. They can take the licks of not getting as good scores in this next period,
Yeah.
but you need to get those wins, and they're playing the long game, and you need to play the short game, unfortunately.
So look, Nanny Wooker said so. They fucking know that shit. So on the other side of the coin, we're talking about guys that you want to target. Titans left. Anyone on the Titans left, they have such a good run leading up into your Supercoach finals, right? Eels, Guns, Gutho, Moses, Sivo, Simonson, anyone that has been killing it at the moment,
Can I make a quick confession?
talk to me.
I'd do some weird shit for a Campiero right now.
You
Anywho.
dropped him, didn't you?
Fuck you.
But you always back your. The weird thing about that is you're always talking about how you're great on draft day. You drafted him and you didn't back yourself in.
You seemed rattled.
We did.
Was
really,
it was it those stories that you were doing?
Hey, boys, even the great fall at some time, okay? Occasionally, I've got to just remind you I'm human and I'm tough world, okay?
It was more than a couple.
no, we
but,
know.
yeah, never
We
mind.
know. So, and Panthers, right. But the two teams that you want to be targeting, if you need to make the finals, Eels and Titans. And the best thing about that is, it's because their run in the actual Supercoach final, so 23 to 26 or 24 to 27, is fucking horrible. So if you can go to the Brim owner, if you can go to the Gutho owner, the Moses owner, and go, hey, let's do a trade, because have a look at the fucking strength of schedule that Gutho has from round 23 to 26. It ain't good. Whereas I could use him right now.
Good shout.
So that's the run the table stuff. So yeah, Titans, if you can get Titans and Eagles players right now, it's going to go a long way. to
Titans
getting
left
you-
edge guys are going to be hard to get, though.
They are, but using that carrot as the Titans' strength of schedule so bad in the SuperCoach finals. If you're talking to someone that's coming second and you're going, you're in the finals, bro. You're there. You should be prepping for the finals. And one thing that you should start with is getting rid of your Titans players.
Yeah.
And just get in there about that and say, have a look at who they're playing. Have a look at the edges they're coming up against. Fucking screenshot all the stat sheets that's on the page and just go, have a look at this. It's not great.
It gets bloody scary, and we're obviously going to touch on it when we talk about the finals schedule. But fuck you, in the last 3 rounds of like the our SuperCoach season, they come up against the Sharks, into the Panthers, into the Storm. Name me 3 better defensive sides. Name me 1 better defensive side than those 3. Like and then before that, they've got the Wires. And the Wires haven't been conceded massive.
Who's round 27 for them? Have you got it there?
Doggies. So that is one good one if you want to hold on to them. But you got to work through some pretty difficult matchups.
Yeah, you got to get there.
Yeah.
And Brumo owners, well, I'm going to touch on that now.
Yeah, let's get into. So we'll touch on both systems here. So we'll talk about the 23 to 26 final system and also your final system, which is 24 to 27.
Yep.
There's not a lot of differences, just a few little minute things, but there's an overwhelming theme that I'm going to go through with when I talk about fetches. There's some guys that just really come up again and again that if you can get them somehow, some way, you're set up for success. But Walker will go through some guys you don't want to have in your team for the finals, and then I'll cover the guys that... Well, we'll just list the guys, and you tell us who you want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
We've got all the stats. Like I said, we just came off like a 3-hour podcast talking about this. Guys that interest you and you want to talk about, hit us with some questions. We'll cover it.
All right. So first up, touch on it, the Titans. They play the Storm in round 26, our grand final. 2 that stand out that have mad value is Brumo and Fafita.
Yep.
Fafita, we've seen this season, he's pretty much matchup proof. It's just those real high-end games that we're probably not going to see from him. Set and forget for 70, though. Brumo is definitely the one that I'd be looking to shop around out of those 2. But, yeah, I'd be looking to cash in Fafita as well. You can almost get anything for him.
Has Fafita turned a corner?
He has.
I wouldn't be selling Fafita personally.
Depends what you can get for him. Like, definitely shop him. Hang it out there. Put him on the hook and just see what comes out.
I still think against these tough teams, I still think he'll do well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he'll floor out at 70.
Yeah.
Without a head knock or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to get around that 70, 75, 80, regardless of who he plays, which is fantastic, of course. But, I mean, you never know.
His work rate has just like gone through the roof.
If you can get someone that's got supersonic upside that has a better strength of schedule than him, maybe that's the play.
Yeah. All right. So Brumo's the man. So moving on, the Eels. So in our grand final, round 26, they play the Panthers. They've got a pretty tough run outside of that. Round 27, it gets a bit worse because they've got the bye. 2 guys that I'm really looking at is Gutho and Moses. Gutho's coming off one of the best months of football in his career.
Prime for the fucking sell.
We've fattened him up for slaughter. He's ready to go, and I reckon Gutho is the guy.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yep.
Moses, I think you could hold him. Not too many options out there to trade up for in the halfback spot. So
I hate relying on Mitch Moses for a big score.
Yeah,
I don't care who they're playing.
concerning.
I don't care what the situation is. I hate relying on him.
Yeah,
Just can't do it.
yeah.
It's too much.
And there's so many, and every league's got these guys that just look at averages on the SuperCoach site. They just look at it and they go,
There's
fuck.
another. There is always
5-round average of 110.
Yeah.
Give him.
Never change.
Gimme, 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 gimme.
Yeah,
Perfect.
But we live by those guys.
Yeah, they're good.
But the one thing that's coincided with Gutho absolutely going fucking supersonic, Dylan Brown not being there.
Yeah.
And Dylan Brown's going to be coming back around 23 or 22.
Yeah, I think it's 22.
Four more rounds.
So
23 then.
23.
yeah,
23.
so he's going to be back round 23 and play out the next 3 rounds, critical rounds for what you need him for in the finals. I think his scores are going to drop massive. I think he's inflated average at the moment for sure.
Yeah.
And definitely taking to slaughter. Next one is the Raiders right. So looking at Fogarty and Timoko. This one's a bit of a tough one because they haven't really performed that well. You're not really going to be getting too much value out of those. It's just their run is really bad. through that period. So they take on the Storm and the Broncos, and a Tigers outfit that haven't been performing that well, and a Doggies outfit that haven't been performing that well. They have been defending quite well on the right edge. Right edge attackers, left side is where they've been conceding points. So. Same story with the Dragons. Hunt's the only one that's Supercoach relevant, so I'll skip over that. And for the Cows, again...
What about Jacob Little?
Jacob
You're looking
Little.
for 120 points, I reckon, from Little.
They're calling him Jacob Massive down there.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob Hung. So moving
Captain,
on.
my captain.
Moving on. I reckon Sonny Luke, you might be able to go for him. Cows is the common theme again. So Holmes, Drinky, Tolangi, those are the guys that they're obviously outperforming at the moment. Holmes, I think he's got the potential to maintain, but like Drinky for sure, I think he's the one that you want to be cashing in at the moment.
Yep.
And Dearden as well.
Yeah, good shout. Yep.
Yeah. So those are the real key flip targets out of the strength of schedule.
All right, fetches. Dream Buller, DWZ, Dane Gagai, Ronaldo Mulatalo, Joey Suali'i. They're my 5 guys that I like from rounds 23 to 26. Ask me anything.
Why is Buller so high? Explain to me.
So, Buller plays the Raiders. They're conceding 84 points to fullbacks over the last 6 rounds. Playing the Warriors, that's a little bit of a hard one. They're only conceding 55 points to fullbacks. Dolphins, 90 points a game over the last 6 rounds. And Cowboys, 80 points over the last 6 rounds. So, for those 4 teams, as a total average of them conceding points to fullbacks, 77.
I think you're outthinking the room here.
Are we?
I think this is one to look past the stats a little bit, Buller.
Also,
I'd have him up there, but I wouldn't have him number 1. No way for me.
Also, no, he's not number 1. He's just a guy that's attainable.
Okay.
Like
all
I could go.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Get,
okay. Sweet.
Go get Nico Hines because he's gonna be good. Like, yeah, he's okay. Yeah, we know that.
It rattled me when you looked me in the eye and said that Cowboys concede 80 points to fullback, and he played them on the weekend and scored 4.
Yeah, well, that was before. That was before.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So the run is good, and also because of that game, he is going to be attainable.
That's true.
Even more.
Yep.
Also, Appy Coruscant and Luke Brooks will be back for the finals, which will make this Tigers team a better team overall. And look, I back this kid. And you'll get him for nothing now. You'll get him for fucking pittance after that 16 or whatever he did. But his strength of schedule cannot be ignored. It is very, very essential.
Fair shout. Geez, hasn't Dane Gagai been having a good Supercoach season?
Yeah. Turn him at the clock.
So
talking about centres at Newcastle that should be playing Origin.
So the Knights come up against.
Yeah.
This is the thing that's worrying. So like
Would you have him over Hammer though?
I know I wouldn't, but I just like I
fuck he could do from
I would argue he's playing his best club footy he's played over the last 5 years.
Oh, easily. He's been picked in Origin because he steps up in Origin.
Yes.
Not based on his form at club
which is
club
interesting.
land.
Yeah.
But depends on how they're going to attack the Knights.
Yes. Yep.
I think it's flipped the script.
Because at the moment, if you look at the teams they're playing, Dolphins, Dogs, South, Sharks, Dolphins concede the most tries to right centres. Bulldogs concede the 4th most. South concede the 5th most tries. And the Sharks concede the 3rd most tries to right centres exclusively. So the matchups are there. Just depends whether they're going to go down that edge. So that's why he's in the list. Do you want to ask me about...
Suali'i was the other one you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, so I touched on that earlier with the effect of Joey Manu being back at centre, him sucking in defenders. Suali'i coming back on this right wing is going to have some space, right? And we know that he's a better Supercoach player at right wing or at wing.
Yeah.
But if you look into the stats here, coming up against Manly, who are supremely weak on their left edge, they concede the 3rd most points to right wing, 3rd most tries to right wingers. Dolphins, left edge weak, concede the 4th most tries to right wingers. Parramatta, they're actually quite a good defensive side, so that's going to be a tough one. But then they come up against the Tigers in round 26, who are a left weak edge team, and they concede the 2nd most tries to right wingers. So if Suaalii doesn't score 3 tries over those 4 games, I'm not here.
I think the shift is going to go well for him as well if he is on that wing.
Yes.
Massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
And it just comes down to Manu. It's going to be give Manu the ball, give him early ball, see what he can do with it. And everyone's going to rush in on him. And we've seen it again and again.
Manu's got one of the best drawing passes in the game.
What about these ones, baby? A little flick ball. Let's go.
I don't feel like he's passing the ball less and less.
Yeah.
That's my worry.
No,
That's
he
my.
hasn't. The one reason why he's been passing less and less, options in attack.
Yeah, I even thought on the weekend I don't feel like he's
He
giving
did
it
put
as much.
Pauga
He
away,
did,
though.
to be fair. I was just having a look. So Pauga had 10 hit-ups, but he had 14 touches. Not great signs.
Yeah.
That's my and I didn't know that before. I just looked it up then, but my vibe was that, and it's why it's why I was off Suaalii last year and everyone jumped on him in Classic. I just don't think he gets enough ball off Manu.
Also, what is one of the best combos at the Roosters, or was at the back end of last season? The Walker, Suaalii, crossfield kick. Then back together, who knows? Might gear up again. He is good in the air.
The only other thing I worry about is that the longer this season goes, the less the Roosters win, the more desperate they get. I think they give Manu more of a license to roam. Mm-hmm. And if he's roaming, you don't attack to an edge without a fucking strike centre. That's the other thing that really worries me with Suaalii.
But the thing is, again, the reason why he's on this list is he might even be available on free agents.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And if you can get him for nothing with that run, it's very, very sexy.
Yeah.
Ask me about DWZ.
I don't want to ask you. I do not want to ask you about DWZ.
Oh, my God.
It's a homer vote if ever I've ever seen one. All right, let's talk about my final system when it matters, where the big boys play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got enough Cowards League? Let's talk.
All right, so I'm just going to rattle off a couple of teams.
You can ask me about
a few
DWZ in
teams.
this one too.
So Broncos, bit of cob loaf. Eels, Gutho again. Cows, the big 3, Drinky, Dearden and Holmes. Titans, Brimo. And for the Dragons, Hunt's the only relevant one.
Okay. Because, yeah.
What do you like there, Guru? What are you thinking?
I've obviously got Stags in my side, so yeah, but that's
So I mean,
almost any time of the year. To be fair,
they come up against the Eels, the Bye, Raiders, and then the Storm. It's a bloody tough run.
it is
The
a
big
tough
ones
run.
there. The big ones there. You've got some. Actually, you got a few big hitters there. Gutho, Drinky, Fafita. I mean, we just talked about Fafita might not be too bad, but definitely Brimo. Those guys are sitting on a sexy 5-round average, which they are at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell high on them now, and just have a look at the strength of schedule for other players that have a really good matchup in that system. And I'll talk about it in a minute when we're talking about strength of schedule and stats versus pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people rate pedigree over it, but if you've got a bloke that's been the best SuperCoach player of the last 3 years, but on the fucking day that you need him to score 100, he scores 60, and some guys you didn't even think of, but he had a better matchup, scores 110.
And
Who the fuck cares?
Not even just matchup, but also form leading into it.
Yeah.
So you can't be just looking at a pedigree of someone like a Teddy or whoever and just going blindly that he's going to score better than Buller. Like we were having conversations when probably 2 or 3 weeks before you picked up Buller in that bet loss, that Buller was averaging more than Teddy, and now he's obviously still is. But like it was just wild at the time that one of the best fullbacks that we've had in the game.
That might be
just
something.
been outshined.
After we've done that, we'll talk about SOS versus pedigree, and we can throw a few scenarios out there because it is a really good discussion.
The other one I would just throw out there when I look at that stands out to me straight away. The Cowboys there, obviously got in brackets there. They versus the Panthers round 27.
Have the buy in round 24 too.
Yes.
24?
So buy into Sharks, into the
the
Dolphins,
buy
the
chain.
Finns.
All I was going to
The Finns
say
would be a
was
great
that
game.
Panthers game, like for all you
There
know,
might be
mass restings there.
half team gone.
Yeah, but the buy
But they
changes.
still beat the Knights.
And the buy's in the first week.
Yep.
Didn't the Knights beat them?
Yeah.
Didn't they have nobody?
So it's 24. Is it
Right over there, Christian.
24 cows.
Got a bit of
25.
Welshie about him just quietly.
Bit of head tapered. Yeah. You cover up a few things, I reckon.
Oh, righto. I need some fucking tape for your face. Specifically around the mouth.
Yeah, I back that. Yeah.
All right, fetches.
Fetches. Okay. Sifa Talakai, Jerome Luai, just Warriors, right edge. Just pick one, plus CNK. KP, Nick Meaney. We'll save KP if you want. I don't want to.
Oh, we'll get to him.
Let's warm.
I did
it up.
I did see
Bit of
the
foreplay.
table rise when you said KP.
A little bit of foreplay. Yeah. Holy shit. Let's be honest, it wouldn't be that loud.
No, it would not. Not if it hit a drum.
Oh, God. Look, let's start with the Warriors. So let's start with CNK, right? So talking about what these teams, so Tigers, Manly, Dragons, Dolphins, over those 4 rounds, what they concede against fullbacks as a collective average, 74 for the season and 78 over the last 6 rounds as a collective average, right?
Yeah.
And they are all left edge weak teams. Tigers, Manly, Dragons, Dolphins, supremely weak on their left edge. And what do we know about CNK? He loves the right edge sweep. And that Warriors, like I said earlier in the podcast, Warriors are so dominant down there right. So that doesn't happen to any other team where you have 4 games where you have that sexy SuperCoach matchup that I was talking about. It doesn't get any better than that. So not only is it great for CNK, DWZ. So over those 4 games, those 4 teams' collective average against right wingers, 68 for the season, 72 over the last 6 rounds. 72 is the collective average. I'll talk about Sifa Talakai in a minute, and his is 55, and that's sexy. DW's is 72.
Yeah.
That's how fucking good it is. Like, just take him ATS every week.
Yeah.
Every fucking week.
It's a dominant attack and edge as well, and like it's just like tick, tick, tick.
Saying the other day in the potty, like, isn't just right side of Sean Johnson consistently just been the best real estate for 10 years?
Yeah.
So
like, it may go up and down, but
Yeah.
like over a 10-year period, if you want to be on the right-hand side of any player in this comp, it's SJ.
Yeah.
He makes so much space, gets on the outside edge of his defender, but then you got CNK, whose ball playing's just, hello, where'd this come from? It's silky as fuck. And then you got DWZ, the old man shuffle. I don't know how he runs so fast because he looks like a cartoon character, but then can put the ball down when he's 8 metres out. It's wild, bro.
He's unbelievable.
It's wild. So DWZ's perfect. And then again, we just mentioned him, SJ, super sexy. Yeah. It's just that right edge for the Warriors. If you can get any of those guys in this final system, it's going to pay.
Just a shout out to how good CNK has gone this season. Yeah. Like, what a move! What a move from his perspective to reignite his career.
Yeah, he's killed it.
Just absolutely killing it. And chances are, when RTS comes in, he's going to be playing in the centres.
RTS.
Yeah, and
that
CNK is going to be keeping the fullback spot.
Warriors
credit to him.
Round 26, so your prelim, our grand final, Dragons. How'd that go?
Yeah.
Yum. And then 20.
Hold up. They've got the future immortal Paul Turner.
True. I didn't.
You need to factor that in, mate.
I didn't factor that in, actually.
Jeez, it's not like they've got.
And then Dolphins in round 27, who are just leading SuperCoach points everywhere.
It's juicy.
Now, should we talk about your boy?
Who? Oof.
Pongs.
Bit of pong. I can smell something.
The Ponga.
Let's do it.
So,
talk to me.
Bulldogs, South Sharks.
Whisper me sweet motherfucking nothings.
So we kick it off, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for the 23 to 26, 24 to 27.
It's a bit of a shit sandwich though for his finals.
Yeah. Look, Dolphins at round 23, which doesn't help you, helps us. That's fantastic. But then you got the Bulldogs. They concede the most tries to fullbacks.
Yum.
In the prelim.
That's round 24.
This is the start of your finals.
Kick off your finals.
Okay, good.
We love that. Played the South, the Bunnies. Now, they've been staunch for the majority of the season, but of late haven't been great.
If I win week 1, though, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Then the Sharks are a good SuperCoach side.
Yeah.
But,
still conceding 65 points to fullbacks.
Yep. And you finished up with the Dragons, who concede 73 points on average to fullbacks.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this Newcastle side, when they sniff a flat track,
oh, they're bullies.
bet your dick they're
They
coming.
are bullies.
So we talked about CNK with his 78, with the 4 teams that he's playing, have a cumulative average of 78. It's 74 for KP.
Love that.
I dare
Very
say the Dragons will be checking into their flights to Bali.
Bali.
Yeah.
They'll be in Bali. Don't worry
At
about that.
half time.
They're 1 foot in Bali.
Yeah. So he's a captaincy option every week in your finals.
Yeah,
I thought that was Brandon Best.
love that.
The other guy that I covered late in my study, and I was like, oh, hang on a second. And he might be a guy that you can get pretty cheap at the moment because he's been underperforming, is Nick Meaney.
Oh, yeah.
Storm play Raiders, Dragons, Gold Coast, Broncos. Raiders concede the second most tries to fullbacks, Dragons fourth most, Gold Coast fifth most, Broncos 10th most.
With Meaney, though, are you a little bit concerned about, obviously, Papi possibly coming back at some point in the next 6
4 weeks ago we were talking to Papi. It was all like, there's no way he'll fucking play.
Oh, we didn't hit a nerve then. That's good. Oh, Jesus.
Someone's a little bit fucking
I'll be
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I was a bit surprised to see Nick Meaney on the list because with Pappy coming back, I
think it's going to be a similar scenarios when Nico and Puppy were sharing time. I think it's going to be exactly the same, but I think it's going to be a bit amplified towards Puppy.
Because that's the thing with Meaney. Where does he move to? Do you drop Warbrick?
You would think
I think with how he's
he would
played,
play left and Coates would go to right.
And they drop Warbrick?
Yeah.
they still drop Warbrick.
Fuck, Warbrick's been so good out of his own end. I reckon he'd be hesitant to drop Warbrick.
Well,
I think
I
he's
don't think
brought a
they
new
drop
dimension.
Meaney because even with Pappy back in the side, I think he still kicks goals. Meaney.
Yeah, I think with the knee injury, you couldn't give Puppy
And do you
the
drop
kick in.
the
And
State of Origin winger Coates?
we've seen
No.
Munster kick goals.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, maybe the goalkeeper will actually hold him. Yeah, I'm not confident in him to go near him personally, but
Yeah.
Okay, now, look, I've sucked your dick. Now I'll suck your dick. Sifa Talakai.
All right, there you go. Oh, sorry. Yep.
Sifa Talakai.
Yes.
Sharks
Yeah.
left edge in this final. So it doesn't matter if it's 23 to 26 or 24 to 27. They're coming up against, and they are a left dominant side, Sharks, right? Even though Nico plays right, he plays both sides of the ruck, and most of the tries that they score on the left is because of the work that Nico does on the sweep.
Yeah.
So they're coming up against the Titans, right week. Cows, right week. Knights, weak on their right edge. Raiders, weak on their right edge. It's left, 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 left.
Yeah.
Sharks will be humming on this left, right? But what I really like about Sifa Talakai's matchups is the one-on-one matchup with the opposite centre, so the right centre. Against the Titans, shoop, however the fuck you pronounce it. Shoppy, whatever. He misses tackles. I don't know his name, but he fucking misses tackles. It's not going to be great for him. Next one, Hiku.
shout out to Aaron Chupe.
Schweppes. Next one's Cowboys. So Hiku's actually not a bad defender this year, but we know he has had defensive issues in the past. Gagai can miss a tackle.
Yep.
And
That
then,
edge hates tackling.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then finishes it up
That's why they
with
don't do it.
the Raiders, Timoko, who has been letting in
Oh,
a lot of line breaks.
Yeah, whilst being a strike centre, defence is not his strong
Also,
suit.
a man like myself built a little bit closer to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Coming
little
up
bit.
against Sifa fucking Talakai.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
See ya.
And, like, he's averaged reasonably well this season. So he's averaged 62. He's only scored 3 tries.
Yeah,
It's like, it's wild. And
Yep.
he has the potential to absolutely dominate any team that we've seen.
Yeah.
So he's, like, I'm stoked with how he's gone, considering that he's only scored the 3 tries. 62 average, you shit that in. He starts scoring some tries, holy shit.
There's sexy matchups for him. That whole left edge, Ronaldo Militalo as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are we surviving or have we got?
Let's just talk before we get into SuperCoach Survivor. Let's talk about stats versus pedigree. I thought we'd touch on that before we get into SuperCoach Survivor. We've just talked about a lot of guys there that are very attainable, that have good matchups, and you need to start changing the way you think with this whole stats or strength of schedule versus pedigree. So, for example, Reece Walsh, pedigree, been playing so well.
Yeah.
Broncos have the bye in round 25, I think it is. They don't have a good strength of schedule. He doesn't have a good strength of schedule for fullbacks. That's pedigree versus stats like someone like a CNK or a Buller. You know, you could get Reece Walsh. You could trade Reece Walsh for Buller and someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Easily.
Another one, Marzu for DWZ. I mean, Marzu's a bit hard because I do want to get a look at where the Knights are going to attack because at the moment it looks like their right edge has the matchup. But again, someone that's been fantastic pedigree for someone who has an unbelievable strength of schedule in DWZ. Holmes for Talakai. Using Holmes' pedigree, his name, the way that Cows have been killing it to get Talakai. Another one.
I think that'd be a good move.
Yeah, fucking oath. And you get it. You would get it over the line because it's pedigree. People are like, oh, of course, Holmes.
Yep.
State of Origin player. This is an interesting one. Cleary versus
This isn't
SJ.
Sam Walker for Lockie Ellis again, is it?
Cleary versus SJ.
What?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, over for the season, the
I've got a chair that's opened up on the wire if anyone's interested.
No, this is the extreme.
I'll have to say that this has been unsanctioned by the Rubdown.
This is an extreme, and like I'm just saying, like this is a really
This is Natty Goes
extreme-
Wild.
Yeah, I'm off the fucking chain. Let me loose.
He's trying to get those beads.
The oppositions that Cleary are coming up against concede 59 points to halfbacks, right halves, as a cumulative effect, right? SJ 65. So, just in a world where you've made it to your grand final and SJ scores 40 more points than Cleary that round, who would you rather?
I'd rather be in this ball. The one the rest of us are living in.
But then that's extreme. More a better one's probably Moses.
Yeah.
Moses for SJ.
Yes.
Using the
Yeah.
pedigree from Moses, state of origin player, has a bad strength.
That's a bit of a sales tactic there. So you soften the blow of the Moses for SJ by saying Cleary to SJ.
Not my first rodeo, bro.
Well played. Yeah.
God, I hope you can find someone in draft comps with Cleary and Moses.
But that's just something you need to think about.
Fuck.
Strength of schedule versus pedigree. Always take the matchup. The better matchup, the strength of schedule, always take that. Because at the end of the day, who the fuck cares where you drafted him? If he wins you a game that you need to win, say a grand final, where would you draft him? You'd draft him a lot higher, wouldn't you?
Are you suggesting that draft position doesn't matter by the time you get to finals?
I know, it's a crazy thought.
Wild concept.
Wild.
Some people don't subscribe to that though.
Hate logic.
Weird.
All right.
It's time. It's
Is
time.
it time? I'm
It's
fucking
time.
excited. Nervous, but I am excited for
Walker.
this. So,
Go through the rules and what we need to do here, please.
Okay, so
people
rules
at home.
rules as we go. So it's a snake draft with alternating picks from first to last. So we based ours on how we went in our bet round. So Natty won, so he goes first, I go second, and then Guru picks third. Then it rotates back around. So then
does that mean I'll have first pick next week?
that'll mean that I'll have first pick next week, and then you have first pick the third week.
Sure.
The way we set it
Trying
up,
to take shortcuts already. Come on, mate.
we're doing it for 9 weeks, so everyone gets to pick first 3 times.
Nice. Okay.
So it's all even and fair and love and war and all that
Get the
sort
bye
of
week, do you?
stuff. yeah.
All even and fair.
Yeah, exactly. So you can only use a player once. So once you've used them, you can't pick them again. But anyone else can pick them up in the subsequent weeks. Plug and play player has to be less than 35% ownership at the time we draft. Player position relates to their SuperCoach position, not the position they play on the field. The usual draft format, so each player can only be owned by one team each round. And if a player is replaced, they will receive the scores of the player who replaces them to come in the same position. So that way we don't have to go back and do a redraft and that sort of
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then all scores are based on the final score in SuperCoach, and that's about it. Yeah, it's a simple concept. So we pick a fullback, we pick a CTW, we pick a half, so either a 5'8" or a halfback, 2RF, front row forward, and a plug. So the plug, like I said before, is under 35% owned.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we have on the Weekly Rubdown Patreon site, we have a template for this. So if you like what we do here, you can go on there, you can download the template and play it at home. You can play however many people you want and for as long as you want at any point in the season. That's the beauty of this game. It's draft on steroids, but it has more flexibility.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on the clock. The bros are on the clock.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, what am
So are you going to be putting these into the doc as we go?
Yes. Yeah.
So
So
doc on our things, I'll be able to see it?
no.
No. Okay.
No.
That's all right. That's all right.
Right.
But I can read out.
Yeah, all
as
good.
we
Yeah,
go
that's
through.
fine. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Look, coming off an absolute humming, a drumming, sorry. I'm going to take Nico Hines to absolutely flog the Tigers this week in the bye round.
Good call. I think he was the obvious number uno.
So he's my half. That means I cannot pick him again for the rest of this competition.
Yeah, it's a big call.
Oh, so is it just a halfback or a 5'8"?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
Make it a little
Like
easier.
that. Okay,
Yep.
sweet.
Yeah, just makes it a bit easier, and
Yeah.
it's a position that is going to be a
Needed
bit
that.
tougher.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Nico,
I am going to go Kennedy for fullback.
Will Kennedy. Nice. I like
So
that.
I wanted to obviously get a Shark with a decent run, a decent game this week. Tigers in the form that they're in. Yeah, I think that's a good pickup.
yeah, that is good.
Nice. I like that. I am going to take a Shark. I'm going to take Mulatalo
Yeah.
Yep.
as my CTW.
I actually was pretty confident those three would go first.
I thought there was a different
Do I get
one.
another pick now?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Snake?
Oh, it's
No.
not Snake.
No? Goes back
Oh.
to me.
No, it just goes
Linear.
linear.
Okay.
It's a linear.
Oh, it's linear. So I go
Jesus
here.
Christ.
Just make up the rules as we go.
No, it's linear.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm back. I will take Joey Tapine as my front row forward. I think him with no Big Red and no Josh Papali'i, I think he will absolutely tear through that middle of the Dragons.
In the front
Hurts
row,
because
you
I'd
said?
already picked him in my mind in my snake order. Really fucking stings.
But where it hurts you now, it'll help you when you're drafting first.
That's not now, Will.
That's not now. Correct. It doesn't help me either.
It's future gurus. Hurts.
Okay.
I am going to go Nicola
Yeah, nice pick.
In your what spot?
in the only spot that he plays in TRF.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said Nicarima.
No, he's also a decent pick.
Britton Nicola, I am going to take number 19 for Queensland. Give me Jaman Hopgood.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
He was going to be. I was tossing up between those two.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I'm
Hey,
gonna-
I want to have a little board bet. Our last three picks, all two RFs. Tapane, Nicola, Hopgood.
yeah,
Who gets top score this weekend?
yeah, of course.
Chuck an extra Hawaii 5-0 on it.
Yeah, fuck,
Yeah, why
please.
not?
Well,
Done. In.
I mean, was it double or nothing because you owe me money already?
Sure. I mean,
no, I still want to see 250s change hands.
Yes! Let's go, baby!
all right, back to you.
All right, I'm going to go a bit rogue here. I'm going to go as my plug. I'm going to go Jaden Campbell.
Yeah, I initially had him as the actual first pick, but yeah, nice one.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am going to go for my half. I think I am going to go SJ
Yeah, nice.
That was very good.
Nice pick. Nice pick.
against a depleted Eels.
I like that. Can you read out what I've got thus far?
So at CTW you've got Mulatalo, and at 2RF you've got Hopgood. Natty has in his half Hines, front row forward, Tapane, Jaden Campbell is his plug. I've got Kennedy at fullback, half is SJ, and 2RF is Nicola.
Nice. Okay, I am going to take. I'm going to take. I'm leaning towards Osako at fullback at the moment.
Oh, okay.
What are my other options? I've got Chance there. Actually, no, I will take DWZ at fullback.
That's a good one because that would have been his next pick. I like that.
I think I saw it on his forehead.
Okay.
No, that was a loser.
Fair. I'll take at hooker. I'll take Cody Nicarima.
Is he down as hooker in the game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me check.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you to
I'm
make up
genuinely
your own
asking.
rules.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure he's.
Yep, Cody Nicarima. Got ya.
Come on, mate.
Nicely
I
done.
know my shit.
All right. Now, I am going to go Blake Brayley as my hooker, keeping the theme of a drubbing,
Nicely done.
and mainly because there aren't any real options at fucking hooker.
Can you read out what I've got at the moment?
So you've got DWZ at fullback, you've got Mulatalo at CTW, you've got Hopgood at 2RF.
2RF. Sweet. I'm going to pick a... I'm going to go for a front row forward.
What like?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll chase a bit of upside. I'll go AFB.
That was my next pick. Well done. Well done. That was a good pick. Good pick against a depleted forward pack as well.
I will go 2RF, Teague Wilton, because we just need all Sharks, don't we?
Nice pick.
That's very good.
I like that.
What have I got left, CTW?
So you have CTW and fullback left.
Okay.
There's a lot more tension in this than what I anticipated.
There is.
Well,
And
A
it's
lot less words, a lot more tension.
a lot more
Well,
tension.
this
Good.
is what we fucking love to do.
This is good. Yes, I rate it.
Heavyweight fights here.
This is good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. Do I take my boy? I'm gonna go as a plug. I'm gonna go a bit rogue. I'm gonna go Silva Havili.
Very
He's
rogue.
Fucking rogue. This is rogue as it gets.
Yeah. Not huge on him when he plays hooker. But anyway. Okay. I am going to go... I'm going to go a little bit rogue myself, and I'm going to back him into collect some attacking stats this weekend. I'm going to take Moiser.
Moiser as your half.
Yep.
Sharks heavy. Sharks heavy.
I like it.
I'm going to go Jermaine Asako for my fullback.
I think I already picked him, didn't I?
You
No, you spoke about it.
Oh, okay.
put the idea in my head, and then you went someone else, and I went,
Oh, did I go DWZ?
Yep.
Yep. Great choice. Great choice.
Fair enough.
heavy as well for you.
I'm gonna go CNK in my CTW spot.
Nice. So I need a hooker. The hookers that are already gone are Blake Brayley,
Yep, and Cody Nicarima.
Cody Nicarima. Slim pickings off the back of that. I'm going to take... Jeez, I want JMK, but I'm not confident he's going to play. I will take... Reed or Tanner Boyd?
It's pretty much the only.
Who's Dolph?
Isn't your boy Jacob Little playing?
Yeah, he does. He's available.
Playing this round. You were just talking him up big.
I was.
What was his name? Jacob Massive. You were
Jacob
saying.
Massive.
Jacob Hull.
I'm going to take... I'm going to take Tanner Boyd.
Tanner Boyd.
Hooker. And he'll kick a few goals, and I'm going to back him in for an attacking start.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it. My last pick in the CTW is going to be Jordan Rapana up against that terrible left edge defense of the Dragons. They let in more Supercoach points to right wingers than any other team. If I'm not going to use Jordan Rapana this week, then why the fuck would you use him?
Yes, I agree. Now, I've got front row forward to go. There is only really one option. Up against a depleted Eels forward pack, Toy Harris.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I need to take my plug and play.
Yep.
I'm going to take a little punt on... The options. Is this the last pick of the whole thing?
Yeah, it is.
So it just has to be under 35% at the moment.
At the moment, okay. I'm going to take a little punt on Albert Hopewate.
Yeah, I like that.
He's shown up in our waivers list a fair few times.
Yeah. One of us is going to be happy.
I'm surprised that none of us, and I'm kicking myself because I only thought of it after I said Havili, Toby Sexton. But
Yeah.
maybe this week isn't the week.
Week one, I don't know.
Especially after that.
There was a couple of good guys that are under that 35% that have got ability this week.
Bye rounds are the best time to get your plugs because there's so many.
Like Simpkins, like a few others.
There's a few there, few decent little options there.
Nice. Call them out.
All right, so Natty has fullback, Asako, CTW, Rapana, half, Hines, 2RF, Teague Wilton, front row forward, Tapane,
Shit.
hooker, Cody Nicarima, and his plug is Jaden Campbell.
Tough for you guys playing catch up after the first round.
Well,
It's gonna be tough.
But just remember, you can
Does
only
it come
play
down
Hines
to overall
once.
points, or is
Yes,
it
overall points.
great?
So I've gone fullback Kennedy, CTW CNK. My half is SJ. My 2RF is Nicara. My front row forward is Tohu Harris. My hooker is Blake Brayley, probably the best option this week. My plug is Silva Havili, probably the worst one that I've picked. And the guru himself has gone
Havili
fullback.
pick is
DWZ, Mulatalo at CTW. Half, Moisa, not your best pick. 2RF, Hopgood, possibly your best pick. At front row forward, AFB, I love that one. Hooker, Tanner Boyd, off script. And your plug is Albert Hopewadi, and I like that.
From some weird country called Lithuania.
Yes. How good.
Oh, this is
Round
good.
one.
I love this.
So we're playing for. So obviously we're going to have a
Sheep
wire,
stations.
a wire Christmas party or drinks or something down here. Winner doesn't pay for a drink or food if we actually eat the whole night. The other two have to pay for it.
How
That
good.
is-
Yeah. I'm liking it.
That's what we're playing for. So obviously this is the first round doing this live. That's good. Next time we're down here doing the wire in a month, we'll do it again. But
Yep.
until then, Guru, just jump on the Weekly Rubdown podcast and we'll do it at the end of our weekly podcast
Yeah.
and get it done.
So as much as you all were going to anyway, make sure you are tuning in to the Weekly Rubdown week in, week out. But if you want to keep up with SuperCoach Survivor, make sure you're there.
Yeah. So we'll be posting up on Patreon just an updated sheet to track through if you want to play SuperCoach Survivor yourself. It's fucking unreal.
It's fucking good.
It
It's
is
really
honestly
good.
one of the better things we've
really
come
I've
up
actually I've got a mate in mind that I think we might
with.
give it a crack.
Because we've done it every year for the last 3-4 years, and it's
Just the two of
so
you?
much fun. Yeah,
Yep.
this is the first time we've done it with 3 people, so we've had to change it up a bit.
Yep.
I
It's
like
good.
that.
And look, if you love draft, you are going to froth this because this is the most purest form of it.
Actually, last season, one of the boys we suggested as one of our draft challenges to set the draft order. We did it with 12 people. It was only over
But
four.
you only
It was
picked
only over
one.
4 rounds.
One player.
Yeah,
Each week.
Yeah. One player per team.
And how did you do the order each? Oh, so everyone got a turn at having number one, or?
So it was reverse ladder at the point in the season. Reverse ladder. And it was linear like we normally do.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's
you
fair,
and then
actually.
you
Yeah,
just
okay.
picked one player.
Yeah.
And obviously you couldn't pick that player again. But you had to be like, okay, obviously everyone was picking guns, but when do you pick them? When do you pick Nathan Cleary? When do you use Nathan Cleary? Or do you know, okay, Walker's picking first or he's picking second this week. I know he's going to pick this player because of this matchup. Strategy is huge in SuperCoach Survivor.
And what, you did it with 12 players over 12 weeks?
No, just the finals, the NRL finals. So that's the other,
okay,
and that's the other thing that you had to take into contention with your strategy is like
Who's going
what-
to make it the next
what
few weeks?
teams are going
Yeah,
to
okay.
be? If I save Nathan Cleary, will he be there in the grand final when I need to use him? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was cool. It was good.
It was strategy amped up. Like this takes in a fair bit of strategy, especially as we work down the weeks.
Once all the
You
guns
start to be looking at, okay, who's been taking these guys? Who
I did not even consider any of that. I don't think it's going to, but I might have wasted Hopgood on it.
No, buy round is you're just picking the best players.
Best
there.
you can, yeah.
And it's actually not a bad round to start and get it out of the way.
Yeah, okay.
fun times.
Excellent.
Fun
You're
times.
very
new
hard to
arena.
beat in this game. I'll just put that out there. I'd love to beat him in it.
Unreal. I think you will this week. That fucking loaded deck you got over there.
Is that a pig flying or something?
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on The Wire once again. Make sure you're following the Weekly Rubdown and the boys
Cheers.
on all social
Yeah.
medias, podcasts. Jump on the Patreon.
We're
doing
everywhere, baby.
fantastic things. And we'll be back in a month or so. And boys, business end.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is.
Huge.
Shit'll be getting
this is where
serious.
champions are made.
You'll still be second. I'll probably still be fourth.
And we'll be talking about whether you're in the finals or not.
Well, we'll see. One way or another, I'll be giving it a fucking red hot go. I'll give you a hot tip.
Exciting times. Love that. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.